Porn is not just sexual. That term actually relates to torture.
And, after working for him, Puff, you think he the master of everything.
This is for them underground motherfuckers that like it real dirty and like it hard. Pause. That was a crazy one. What am I doing?
Even before the Diddy-exposing scandal broke, fans had been curious about the whereabouts of Diddy's sidekick, Fonzworth Bentley. According to recent allegations, Fonzworth had to flee Diddy, just like Cassie did, and Kanye West is said to have assisted him in doing so. As Diddy's personal assistant in the early 2000s, Fonzworth shot to fame in the media. Jaguar Wright, meanwhile, claims that Fonzworth was actually Diddy's concubine. How did Diddy and Fonzworth Bentley actually get along, in your opinion? Concubine.
What do you think Diddy and Fonzworth Bentley's real relationship was?
Concubine.
Now, Cassie made reference to Diddy's assistant in her lawsuit, claiming that person assisted him in arranging those freak-offs with male S-workers. And a lot of people are now questioning if Fonzworth was that assistant. Subsequently, according to other accounts, Fonzworth was also a victim since Diddy supposedly used him like his slave. What then actually became of Fonzworth Bentley? And might he sue Diddy as the next person to do so? Now let's get started. He doesn't go by Busta Rhymes. Who bestowed the nickname upon you? De Niro Tony. It was actually Puff's boy, Fonzworth Bentley, who spent years working closely with Diddy and was present during both the Kim Porter and Kathy eras. It's likely the one with the most bizarre anecdotes out of all the people who worked closely with Diddy over the years. People used to assume that Diddy's use of an umbrella-wielding helper was merely his wacky side. However, given that Diddy and Fonzworth were in a master-concubine relationship, Jaguar Wright seems to think this is some sort of ritual of humiliation. Everyone is aware of this, but I believe that what they are all finding difficult to understand is how quickly he vanished, not how the entire situation could have ended. To put things in perspective, Fonzworth entered Diddy's life during a really serious PR issue. Diddy, then known as Puff Daddy, was found not guilty in a widely reported trial in 2000 and won on charges including gun possession and bribery connected to a 1999 nightclub shooting. Desperate for a fresh start, Diddy decided to rebrand himself as P. Diddy. Later that year, Diddy appeared in St. Tropez with this well-groomed man carrying a nice $700 white umbrella. The public was quite curious about this picture because no one knew the identity or origin of the umbrella man. And while some laughed at it, others couldn't help but feel uneasy and accused Diddy of making fun of the man in front of others. In the end, Fonzworth made the decision to correct the record on Angela Yee's radio show, stating that Tony De Niro, Diddy's associate, gave him his new name, Derek Watkins. After Fonzworth relocated from Atlanta to New York and began networking, he claimed to have met Diddy. He approached Diddy at a party one day at random, and although at first Diddy ignored him,
I just picked up the page. You remember the guy that traveled from Howard University to intern with Andre Harrell? I'm that guy in 2001. Please don't make me go back to work on Monday at the restaurant. He replied, come to 1396 3rd Avenue. I literally started that day training as his assistant. The rest is history.
Essentially pleading with him for a job. Then I realized I had simply picked up the page. Remember the guy who came from Howard University to work as Andrew Harrell's intern? That guy is me in 2001. Please don't force me to return to the restaurant on Monday for work. Come to 1396 3rd Avenue, he retorted. That day, I actually began my training to be his assistant. History is what's left. The moment Fonzworth appeared on Diddy's MTV show, Making the Band, following his hiring by Diddy, people began to feel even more uneasy about this arrangement. These days, it's nearly hard to obtain every episode of Making the Band, and MTV declined to air reruns for whatever reason. Still, there are still a few Fonzworth clips available on the program. Similar to how Diddy threatened him over the phone this time.
Hello. Hey, what up? I went to sleep. When I woke up, the whole house was clean, just like I asked for it to be. But I got a note right here from Babs. She broke out and went to Brooklyn. It's taking you entirely too long to tell this story. This is your problem, man. Good luck to you. And when I get there, everything better be on point.
In the restaurant business.
That
actually.
good though? That's a
like $100,000. Yeah,
Shit.
that's pretty good, right?
yeah, that is
For
pretty
New
good.
York. Yeah.
And back then too.
It's 98. Like that's a lot of money.
Wow, I'd have stayed.
Yeah, 90, 100. Like I was doing well. So and
he wasn't paying that much.
Yeah, no way.
at all.
Supporters who are old enough to recall the first airing of Making the Band have also mentioned that they recall Diddy mistreating Fonzworth in public. Furthermore, Fonzworth complained to Angela Yee that Diddy was paying him very little for his work. I was running a restaurant and was doing really well financially. Still, that's a good thing. That is comparable to $100,000. Well, that's not that bad, is it? Yes, that is really good. Regarding New York, and even back then, 98 seems like a big sum of money. Well, that is quite a bit. Indeed, 91 was how well I was doing, so you know. Not that I was paying that much. Yes, without a doubt. Not at all. Fonzworth promptly corrected himself, claiming that Diddy had not been paying him at first. But as his role expanded, he began to get paid more. Not at first, but you know that if you get in, you get your hustle, and eventually you do. But however, Seed officially Fonzworth's views remained unchanged. He was usually just called Diddy's helper. For this reason, according to Fonzworth's lawsuit, there are now rumors that she began making money by assisting Diddy in setting up such bizarre encounters. Cassie claimed that Diddy had helpers that helped him dress up hotel rooms with baby oil and Astro Glide Now in order to facilitate meetings with male employees. Diddy's bodyguard recently, Gene Deal, stated that he thinks Cassie's lawsuit was altered to omit the text mentioning Diddy's active participation in these freak shows. In the meantime, Gene Surface said in another interview that he is fully aware of Fonzworth's affairs. Actually, Fonzworth is located here in Atlanta. He's been married for around 2 years. He has a simple, quiet existence. Yes, indeed, he ought to keep his mouth shut, since he knows that I am knowledgeable about his industry. Are you familiar with his business ventures? I am familiar with his business. Furthermore, Gene recently disclosed that Diddy had allegedly broken Kim Porter's nose on a yacht after she discovered him with a man. She claimed that as they entered the room, someone was abusing him on the same yacht where she fractured her nose, leading to a fight. Now, according to this August 2005 article, Kim suffered a broken nose as a result of the couple's altercation on Combs' yacht in Street Tropes. Given that Fonzworth continued to serve as Diddy's assistant in 2005, and that Diddy was known to frequently take Fonzworth to Street Tropes, there is now a great deal of conjecture that Kim witnessed Diddy and Fonzworth having an altercation. But this was also the period when Fonzworth began making a name for himself in the music business, and Kanye West presented him with his big break. Fonzworth initially made appearances in a number of Outkast videos and made a brief appearance in Kanye's video promoting his new exercise regimen. Then, Fonzworth received an invitation from Kanye to collaborate on his album Yeezus in 2013, and he is listed as a songwriter on several of the songs. Later on, he contributed to the production of Kanye's 2016 album, The Life of Pablo's song Ultra Light Beam. However, it's said that Diddy blackballed Fonzworth's career, so barring him from the industry, because he couldn't bear to watch him become independent. On the other hand, rumors have it that Fonzworth believes Kanye was instrumental in his escape from Diddy. Sources with direct knowledge of the matter have stated that Kanye was never comfortable with the way Diddy was carrying Fonzworth about, even if it's likely that he was unaware of what was going on behind the scenes. Thus, following his escape from Diddy and his purported blacklisting, Fonzworth returned to Atlanta, remarried to Fawn Chambers, and had 2 children. But there's a reason Fonzworth, of all people, stayed in Atlanta, according to Jaguar Wright. He's married, has 2 sons, and is currently spending his life in Atlanta. If you've ever lived in Atlanta, you know that the majority of them are homosexual and bisexual males. But how many, you ask? They are your pastors. They simply devoted their lives to God and to be married. Additionally, Atlanta's black population still heavily embraces underground culture. The humor stems from Atlanta's status as a gay hotspot. You would think that down-low culture wouldn't be necessary, yet it is still very much alive and well in Atlanta. In any case, fans are now claiming that Diddy and Fonzworth's relationship was undoubtedly troubling, and they're hoping Fonzworth will come forward and disclose the precise abuse Diddy inflicted upon him.